Right, so let's say that it's a neck and shoulder problem, okay? Again, in your holistic, I teach you how to do the aeroplane, your dry work, you do a bit of an assessment. With sports and deep tissue, we can also be looking at the posture of the person and assessing, well, that shoulder's higher than the other shoulder. We'd also be talking to the client in the client consultation as well, saying, hi, how are you today? Point to me, I see how she pointed down there. You'd say, that's one thing that I do, is point to me exactly where the pain is. Now, if she had pain radiating down the side of the arm, it's going to be coming from the neck, okay, and then it can also be coming from overuse of the arm as well, okay. And if the pain is located here around about the rotator cuff area, you would certainly want to be starting with the arm and working your way in, right? If the pain was located in between the scapulae and the spine area, that's more superficial backline area. So again, you would start from the neck and coming down. So you want to palpate and feel where the problem is to either decide, okay, I'm going to start at the hand and work my way in, or I'm going to start at the neck. About 7-8 times out of 10, I'll start at the neck and I'll work my way in, and then I'll come to the arm afterwards and come in. If it's specifically an arm injury, if it's frozen shoulder, if it's carpal tunnel, if it's tendinitis in the elbow, these are all arm conditions, so you want to start at the hand and work your way in then. Okay. Frozen shoulder, you can also start a bit from the neck and work your way in, and then you would start up and work your way in there. Okay. So again, some of these techniques you're going to recognise. So it's very similar. What we did on the foot is very similar to what we do on the hands. Now here, we want to flex the wrist, so you want to mobilise the wrist joint. And then here in the the muscle here in the thumb, you want to come right into where the bone is in the centre and press as hard as you can right next to the bone, okay? And again, you can work with your own intuition, or for a more advanced remedial treatment, if it was severe pain, you can take her on a scale of 10, okay? So scale of 10, where are you?
6.
She's a 6. So you would use that breath and come down to a 1. So again, she's at a 6, so it's pretty high. So I'm right in that crevice area, right in there. For more detailed work, you come into the centre. Deep breath. Big sigh out. Scale of 10.
5.
So she's a 5 there, okay? So remember, because you're in the centre, there's going to be another one there at the top. If you know when you're palpating the actual thumb muscle itself, that's pretty tight, you can always go into the centre first, because remember, it's going to hit above and also below, okay? But that anchor point, the first point that I did right in at that crevice area there, that's actually like a key point for all the myofascia for the thumb and that finger to go into. So that's like a super hot spot. Okay, as you come here more to the outer edge, it's less important. Deep breath and big sigh out. Scale of 10.
4.
A 4.
Yeah.
A 4. Okay, so that's less important. So generally, if you work those two, they're going to really release before you come to there. Your techniques for the thumb are the same as the toes. You want to squeeze on either side, coming up the thumb, and then you also want to rotate at the joint, and then rotate the full finger, and then you gently want to squeeze. You can give a little bit of a shake. Okay. What you also need to know as well is that the back part here of the arm line comes down this area in here. The front of the arm line here is connected into the front of the body, okay? So my palm, if I'm working with the palm of the hand, it's actually going to release around the front of the shoulder. If I'm working here and up there, it's going to be releasing around the back of my shoulder. So it's important to know the difference between the back arm line and the front arm lines. Okay. So I do a bit of a pulsing sometimes with the fingers, if I can feel they're quite tight as well.
A trigger for arranging the x-ray as well was at one point during the night I started getting really bad pins and needles and pains in my hands.
Right, okay. So it's affecting the blood flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The back pain? What?
Yeah, she said the pain here, she woke up in the middle of the night, but it was giving her pins and needles.
Okay.
So again, because there's an issue here, it's trying to leave the body via this hand. The nerve reaction's coming up in this way. Okay, so effectively you open out your anchor points there, right? You can come back in, you can flex the wrist again. Now, we've got, again, band 1, band 2, band 3 as a tracking point. See your middle finger, we're going to call that band 3. And it comes all the way up there. This finger is going to be band 2, and then your thumb is going to come in there. Now this is an imaginary map, a general guide. Your application of technique is always about 2 or 3 fingers above the wrist area. Okay, so let's come to there. And we're just going to be tracking up towards the elbow. So I'm using digital thumbs, and I'm using some excavation technique as well, just to push into that muscle tissue. So you can work in that way. Your next way is for a deeper experience, again, more focused work, more remedial work, is to work on a scale of 10. Deep breath for me, please. And big sigh out. Here we go. Scale of 10, where are you?
7.
Okay, so she's really quite tight there. That to me feels about a 2, okay? It doesn't feel tight at all. So use that breath, take it to a 1. Again, I'm using a bit of excavation here to push it around. As it releases, where are you? You're a 1, okay. Palpating to find where to come next, up the bands, there we go, scale of 10. Deep breath. Where are you?
That one goes 6.
A 6, okay. Are you okay there, or do you need me to back off?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So I'm doing this with no towels, okay? She's quite small, so I feel with the size of my hands and how petite she is that I can actually get a good grip of her. There's other people I would just work the whole thing through towels. So again, I adapt what it is that I'm doing depending who I've got on the bed. So you can do this with or without towels, okay? Where are you?
1.
She's a 1, okay? Palpating again to feel. How you doing in there?
Oh, that's an 8.
Do you need me to back off, or are you
No,
okay?
It's okay.
So as we come up to the elbow there, she's getting super tight. You 1? Okay, good. Okay, coming back down. Okay. So I'm palpating as I come up and down, feeling for what is. So you keep working your 3 tracks in that way. So you can work band 3, band 2, band 1, okay? But that's your imaginary guide. So if you know you've got to palpate in those areas, like there's one straight away there. How you doing there?
That one's painful.
Sorry?
That one's painful.
Yeah, so I could feel that straight away, okay? So that's more on like band 1 area there. Okay. So this is like your dry work, okay?
Yeah.
Very nice, okay. So that area there, band 1, kind of coming into band 2. Typically that's where everybody holds it. That is going to attach down into there, okay? You can give that a bit of a squeeze just to try and push it out, and also again relax the fingers. There we go, we've got some movement happening there in band 3. Just encouraging that to loosen. Okay, as we come up here into the area between the elbow and also the shoulder, we've got the deltoid and we've got the bicep, the brachialis, and we've also got the tricep area. So there's a bit of a knack to doing this. So this is a bit of trigger point work for deep tissue. So what we want to do is like a rolling action. Now, as I'm rolling, I'm testing with my fingers where she's tight, okay? So that deltoid is really quite tight, and she's quite tight here as well, just above where the elbow is. As you find a point of tension, put your double fingers in there and hold it for 10 seconds, and you can do a bit of excavation, okay? As you release, palpate. Again, there's another part in there. Okay, you see the big breath that she took? Okay. There we go, there's one there. So in this way, you need to develop, because she's in quite a good state of looseness, okay? So if you don't feel, I can't feel what's loose and what's tight, just get into the action just now, okay, of moving the actual arm itself. Okay. So we're rotating using the fingers. When you find it, press in, hold for 10 seconds and rock, okay? Okay, there's another one there.
It's like with big guy that trains a lot, isn't like all tight, like the biceps?
Yes, the whole thing will be brick hard.
Yeah.
So then you need your bigger movements, you need the massage gun for that type of thing. What I can tell you right now is that the area between her elbow and her wrist is much worse than the area between the elbow and the actual shoulder blade, okay? What we can do as well is a bit of passive work. You want to apply pressure and just come down and release. Apply your pressure and come down and release. When we come back working with oil, you'll see how we strip into it a little bit further. We then want to travel around onto the rotator cuff area. So again, you can work skin on skin with Monica. If it's a bigger person, you can be working through towels. Okay, now certainly I can feel here straight away that she's super tight in the tendon area. Okay, so before we come into the tendon area, because this is really sensitive, the muscles that are responsible are all here in the rotator cuff area. So let's try to come into the middle of that. There it is. Deep breath for me, please. Big sigh out. Here we go. Scale of 10, where are you?
Oh, that's so annoying.
Do you need me to back off?
I'll take another breath.
Okay, I've backed off a little bit there.
6, 5, 4, 2, 1.
Okay. So she's super sensitive there. I was working about a 2, 3 and she's right up at a 9. So it's a good idea when that happens to work with the area on the rotator cuff before you come in here, so that the tendons are reacting, because this area is up at a 9. As you loosen that off, it will then speak to the tendons in here and it will allow the shoulder, okay, also to breathe too. This is making sense as well, regardless of what's going on here with the hip, that she's having problems to do with the blood flow in the actual arm itself. In the middle of the night, she's getting some pins and needles, some spasming, because it's really quite tight. So the whole thing could do with a bit of mobilising and loosening off. So I think it was divine intervention that you ended up in here today.
Yeah.
So let's have another feel for this here. There we go, scale of 10, where are you?
6, no 5.
Alright, deep breath.
Is it like specific point, or you just go where the tension
You palpate, and where
Okay.
do you feel it tighten?
Yeah.
You then want to press onto the top of that, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's okay. Okay, so I've really backed off now with my pressure. I'm even just using one hand to palpate with her, because she's very, very sensitive. How are you doing in
Yeah,
there?
that area is an 8.
Yeah, she's up at an 8. Again, I'm practically just touching her and she's up at an 8. So that's all she needs, okay? When we work with oil and we start stripping with the oil, with digital thumbs on here, and we can use like loose fist, forearm effleurage, it'll actually be nicer for her to receive. The working through towels is very intensive, so again, I need to think about what's going on with her. What is it that she needs? She actually needs more work with the oils and stripping around. It will be less harassing for her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Especially that she's already in pain. She's been for x-rays. So again, you need to build trust with your client. You need to think about where they are and how to make it a positive experience for them. So you would continue all around this area with palpating, holding it with intuition, or holding it on a scale of 10. Okay. She's also super tight here around the front. Okay, this is also holding in here too. Now, like what we saw yesterday when you were working on your superficial back line, we can also come into our dry work there, scale of 10. Where are you?
8.
Yes, so she's an 8 there. Remember we did this yesterday? So you can also use these techniques for your arm lines as well. Thank you. Super tight right on levator scapulae there. I'm just going to use one thumb. Deep breath for me, please. Big sigh out. Here we go. Where are you?
7.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just touching her and she's right up at a 7. Okay. Would I use an elbow with her?
No.
No, that's it. No, she would be away running out the door if we were to start the elbow work. She's just not in a place at all for the elbow. So again, see how I have adapted the technique to make it specific to her for what's going on with her. So I've just brought my tools down and I'm watching my pressure, but it's the same technique. Here we go. Where are you?
6.
Let's use a bit of excavation there. Seems to be okay. Right, okay, that's your dry work.